Question of the day. What is your gateway game? Not what are gateway games, obviously, or your favorite gateway game. We can talk about that and argue about that until the cows come home. But what was your gateway game? The game that red-pilled you into realizing that this universe even exists. Where you're like, wait, what is this worker placement? What are these miniatures? What is all this stuff? What was the game that got you down this rabbit hole that you are now watching Dice Tower videos trying to figure out which game you're going to buy next, right? Or that you know what a legacy game is and you can explain the difference between a legacy and a campaign at the drop of the hat to someone who's like, oh, wait, what is this? And you can guide people along. What was the gateway game that got you in? Because you've heard me talk before. The gateway game that got me in was Heroclix. This is a two-player skirmish, Marvel and DC mostly, miniatures game with dice and characters, but the miniatures are so awesome looking. They're so well sculpted and modeled. They're based on any of the universes of Marvel and DC. You have things like this that are now the Justice League United, which you may not be able to see that on camera, but it's they're made off the Bruce Timm universe, but there are literally tens of thousands, probably, different Heroclix pieces based on any Marvel DC character you can think of, whether it be Earth 3, whether it be Earth 2, whether it be multiple versions of Earth 2, whether it be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. There are a ton of different ones in this miniatures game, and you've probably heard me talk about them before, but why I bring this up and this is so different is because this Fantastic Four Heroclix set that I want to talk to you about is a base game. Yes, you can get into the base game of Heroclix, but it's something more. It is a campaign that feels a lot more like a self-contained board game. So let's take a look at the Fantastic Four Cosmic Clash, as well as the one for the Justice League United sets that came out right now. Alright, so we're taking a look at these two starter sets today for Justice League Unlimited and the Fantastic Four Cosmic Clash. These would be for... Wait, what game is this for? Oh, that's our Heroclix. No, the only reason I say that is because it's interesting to me that the front of the box doesn't show that at all. It's looks more like a new game that's coming out. So if you walk past your shelf, you know, whether these are going to be mass market or not, but if you walk past your shelf in your game store, you're going to go, wait, what is the Fantastic Four? You're going to pick it up, you're going to see those miniatures, you're going to do all this, and then you're going to find out about it. And it's, not to say it's stealth marketing, but it's trying to, this packaging is different than anything I've ever seen Heroclix do, and it's nice because it really opens up to that market of the board game hobby versus the strictly miniature hobby, because sometimes those two obviously bleed over, but not always. So let's take a look right now what comes inside of the Fantastic Four Cosmic Clash, the Justice League Unlimited. Now this is also the newest set of Heroclix, which we unboxed and opened. Got some fantastic pieces over here. Look at that Micron, but I love Shazam also. Gotta love that there's a Sinestro in his blue costume. Also some really great stuff over here, but it's the Justice League Unlimited stuff from the cartoon series. So John Jones and John Stewart here, as well as, you know, the kind of Bruce Timm animated universe. So let's take a look at what comes in these sets and show you that they are different because there's scenario driven, which is really interesting right now. Now, first and foremost, I want to point out that you do get everything you need to play Heroclix as if you were just going to play casually, as well as this comes with two different maps, which are two-sided, which is really great. A new powers and abilities card, which shows you how to play all the different powers and abilities that are going to come up during a game of Heroclix, as well as a full-blown core rule book. So everything you need here to play the game is here. But I love that the two maps come with this, because maps are some of the best part about Heroclix is just seeing them, because they're very detailed, but they're also very, very thematic. And these all have special location information, so they do certain things, special map situations. But before we dive into the main crux, I want to show you the miniatures in this. These are absolutely gorgeous, and I just noticed they are they have a team base type there, switch clicks. But anyway, the sculpts themselves are some of the best looking Heroclix they've done. They've got a wash on these figures, so you'll notice that even though they're Heroclix, like normal pieces, they have a wash on them. Look how detailed. Silver Surfer, gotta love that. Boom, really good looking. One of the best looking Dr. Dooms there is. I mean, he's just so good. And then of course Rigid and the Invisible Woman as well. And I love the classic costumes. I love that we're getting Fantastic Four products again, but just really good stuff. You can look at the cards and kind of the spoilers on that to see what they do, but I just wanted to show you those sculpts because I'm really intrigued by the fact that these are team bases, which means that there's a possibility that we'll get another theme team or a team base of the Fantastic Four figures, which would be great, or at least switch clicks. But anyway, the most important thing I wanted to show you was this. This is the most interesting thing to me, are these campaign rules. And what is a campaign rule? Well, normally you play Heroclix, you build a team of heroes based on a point cost, and usually you'll play 300-point teams, so you'll see these point costs are 100 or 75, so you could play Johnny Storm at 100 points or 75 when building your team, but you can also play the campaign. So you would play scenario A, scenario B, and you'd play these in order, and whether you win or lose, you kind of progress through this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 story campaign with the Fantastic Four, Doctor Doom, and other characters, and there's little pogs here that are useful as well. But I just want to point out that this is such a fantastic idea. Having these campaign rules really changes it and does make it feel much more like a board game, to where you're actually playing. Here's a premise: Yancey Street Gang is harassing Ben Grimm again and has snatched a gift he's got for Alicia Masters on her way home. The map is the Yancey Street map, so it's one of the ones of the two here. Fantastic Four players begin with a 75 point The Thing. Doom players begin with 6 Yancey bystanders. So civilians, the Doom players, bystanders cannot be KO'd. If they would be, leave them on the map instead. See Frisk below. And so it gives you some different options here. When he fails to break away, flip it to his reverse side. You can humiliate the Thing. Got to keep our rep. So it's just neat. It says if the Yancey Street pickpocket is revealed, you continue. They win if they beat the Thing, but you don't just stop there and redo it. You go to B if you beat it, and you go to C if you lose. So it really kind of branches the story. But just it's really interesting to see that Heroclix is going again this route. Geez, the last time I remember it would be the War of the Light and what was the Scotty's Hammer one, the War of the Light and the Book of the Skulls one. But this is just really, really interesting. So if you're trying to get into Heroclix in general, this is going to be easier to get into because this is going to be much more board game feeling, more miniatures board game feeling, as opposed to just a straight miniatures game to where you feel like once you get down that rabbit hole, you can never stop. So that's what comes in the Fantastic Four set. Let's take a look at the Justice League set. Now the Justice League set goes a slightly different route. You have the two maps that it gives you, which is the Cadmus Labs and Daily Planet, and this would be the Justice League and the Injustice Gang, with the cards that go with the figures. But you notice there's not just a set of scenarios. Instead, they want you to use the QR code here. So there's skirmish rules, which teach you basically how to play the game in the skirmish format, but there's the campaign or scenarios here to play with this map. So this one is a little less focused when it comes to telling a story. It's more, hey, here's this on here, but the other one has kind of the scenario branched out, ready to go. And this is partly because these figures are in a set that is out, like I just showed you earlier. But the Fantastic Four is a kind of standalone thing. So that's it. That's what these two sets offer. Now we're talking about, what I love about it is the difference between a normal Heroclix set in which you are just getting some pieces and you're throwing them out there, building your best team. All that is great, and I love team building in Heroclix. But what I really like about this is the feel that you're doing a campaign, right? You're actually playing a story with Ben Grimm and Johnny Storm and Reed Richards and Sue Storm and all this sort of stuff. I love that feel that this takes on a life of its own. And the reason I really wanted to bring this to you, again, this is not a paid promotion. The reason I wanted to bring this up is because I love the game of Heroclix. I don't get to play nearly as much as I want to, but I love it. And this is a perfect way to get people into the game. But say you're not interested in the game at all. What I love, what WizKids have done, is they've managed to make this feel, there have been starter sets in the past which are just basically gateways into the hobby, into the game of Heroclix. This though, this really feels like a self-contained thing that where if you wanted to, you could say, hey, do you want to play a Fantastic Four game with me? You don't even have to explain Heroclix. That's kind of why I made the joke up front about how it's not even written on the front of the box that this is Heroclix, because you can just play this as a Fantastic Four game. So just know that that is why I want to bring this up, how much I love it, just the idea that this is a Fantastic Four game. So let's close on this. The sculpts in these sets that I just showed you, the Justice League United set, are great. They look like Bruce Timm. They have a more muted paint color and things like that. But also, let's talk about the Fantastic Four sculpts. These are some of the best looking Heroclix out there. Say you're not interested at all in Heroclix, It's amazing to have these tiny little, really intricately detailed and wash painted, they have a nice wash on them, miniatures of the Fantastic Four, which, let's face it, for about 6-7 years now have kind of been pushed to the back because of the whole Fox Marvel deal, right? Up until like last year. So it's nice to see some merchandise made of some of my favorite characters, the Fantastic Four. If you are interested in Heroclix, this is a no-brainer. Obviously, it's a new starter set, things like that, but the scenarios are cool. If you're not interested in Heroclix, you just like games, this is one for you because it does play much more like a game that you would find in the hobby store normally. Like, it feels a little bit more like Stuffed Fables or something like that, where you're playing a scenario, and if you do this, you go into this scenario. If you do this, you go into this scenario. I love that they have done this to really make this much more approachable by the mass market, but it's still a great piece to pick up if you're a die-hard Heroclix fan. So highly recommend this. Can't recommend this enough. Definitely go check out the Heroclix sets, the Fantastic Four Cosmic Clash, the Justice League United starter set. I do give the money in the I give the odds or the favor to the Fantastic Four one because it comes with the cards in the set for the campaigns. But these pieces look leaps and bounds better, in my opinion, than anything that Heroclix has put out in a long time. And they always put out good stuff, but these are phenomenal looking pieces. So I'm Brian Drake here on the Dice Tower. Make sure to follow me on Twitter, Instagram at Dice Tower Brian. There's a link in the bottom here for all the 300 videos or so that we've done here on the Dice Tower. If you enjoyed this review, go check out some more. Until next time, we'll see you.
Thanks so much for watching another Dice Tower video. If you enjoy our videos, subscribe to the channel for more fun, comprehensive board game coverage. Also, consider joining us at one of our events. Come to Dice Tower Retreat, a small, intimate gathering where gaming is king. Join us for Dice Tower Cruise, the largest board game cruise. Attend Dice Tower West in Las Vegas, for gaming fun on the West Coast, or Dice Tower East in Orlando, in sunny Florida. Dice Tower Conventions, the friendliest gaming conventions on Earth. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching the Dice Tower.